So come and stand in the middle of your mat, feet hip width apart, wiggle your toes. Pull up the arches underneath your feet, soften your knees. Tuck your pelvis under. Find your pelvic floor and pull in. Then find that TVA, start drawing that in, belly button back to spine. Then just take the shoulders down and back, lift up the rib cage. Find the length at the back of the neck, so maybe dip the chin down towards the chest. So pelvic floor, TVA, we're going to pull in 100% and then slow release, and we're going to do that 10 times. Ready then, so tuck your pelvis under, like you've got a tail and you're pulling that down towards the floor. Pulling in, pelvic floor, front and back, TVA. Ready, pull in, slow release. Pull in, slow release. Pull in, slow release. Try not to look down, find the length there at your neck. Crown of the head going up, pull in, slow release. Pull in, slow release. Relax the shoulders, pull in, slow release. Find 100% here, pull in, and slow release. Pull in, 3 left. Slow release, 2 more, pull in. Really work with the pelvic floor. Slow release. Belly button in, pull in. Slow release it down to 50%, so you've got the engagement there. Gently pulling that tummy button back towards the spine, pelvic floor is engaged. And we're going to go straight to the shoulders, lift them up to the ears, circle them back. Just nice and simple. Big circles, just get a really good squeeze, almost lift them right to those ears. Wouldn't normally be telling you to do that, but really get a squeeze and then releasing them down. Still put in that pelvic floor, that TVA. Keep the knees soft, tuck the pelvis under. And 4, 3, go for the squeeze here. 2, and 1. Reset the shoulders down and back, and we're straight into side bends. Center, and then reach the hand down to the side of the knee. Recenter, and down. Shoulders can relax here. It's almost like your shoulder glide move where we move out. Just let them relax down. Try and keep the hips still so the hips don't sway. And really start thinking about the feet. So scrunch up the toes and press the feet into your mat. Almost like you're wanting to make a little imprint of your feet in the mat. Breathing out into the side bends. 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Lifting one arm up, then we're going to hold in our side bend. So just take a nice hold. Still pushing down into the feet, so scrunch up the toes, press the feet onto that imprint. If you want a little bit more, then take hold of the wrist. This is intense. And you can pull that wrist over for your side bend. 3 deep breaths, really filling the chest out with air. Try and keep those hips still. Still engaging with the core. And slow release, straight over to the other side. First of all, just find that side bend. Try and keep the hips, the pelvis still. Pull in pelvic floor. Press down with the feet. If you want a little bit more, take that wrist. Gently pulling it over. Feel that stretch, it is intense. 3 deep breaths, really filling out the ribcage with air. 1 more. Recenter. Adding some balance in as well. I'm going to circle our arms. We're going to lift up, breathe in. Up onto the toes. So just get that little bit taller. Breathing out. Reach the arms down and back. I think maybe Jeanette, you're off mute. Jeanette, you might want to go on mute. That's it. We can hear you. I could hear you giggling. It was nice though. I liked it. Breathe in left, breathing out, coming down. When you're thinking here about going up on your toes, think about squeezing your glutes, right, to pulling in the pelvic floor. Breathing in left, breathing out over. 3 more. And 2. Getting as tall as you can, really reach through those fingertips. And last one. Reach. And release. Looking to the side now. Then take the chin down towards the chest. Try and keep the shoulders relaxed. Over to the other side. So just a little bit of work with the neck. Then back around. So chin down to chest. Take your time. And then right round to the side. Still pressing down with the feet into your mat. Still drawing in pelvic floor, TVA. One more. Chin down to the chest. Take it around, look to the side. Okay, recenter, and we're going to do our squats. So I'll turn the sideways on. Maybe take your feet a little bit wider. It's bend the knees, reach the hands forwards. So this is like your lower back release. Press down into the mat. Squeeze the glutes and lift. Staying really strong. You want everything firing there. I'm just going to move my camera down a bit. So you want all those glutes working. Get nice and low in your squats. Take your hips back in space. Check your knees aren't pronating in. Notice where the weight's going through the feet. So is it going through the feet equally? Are you drawing up those arches? Are you feeling the big toe pressing down into the mat? Try and look forwards. 4 more. A little bit lower if we can then. 3. And 2. Breathe in to rise. And last one. Nice and low. And release. A little bit of balance then. We're going to take a 1 knee balance or high knee. Just hold. Draw the arch up underneath the foot. Use your big toe. Use your pelvic floor. Then we're going to take that out to tree. So it's like a hip opening. And then we're going to take that foot back behind us. Now I've obviously got a wall. So I'll switch it like, it's going to look like that, right? Arabesque. So we'll go again. I'll go forwards a little bit. High knee. Work this balance, okay? So just hold. Then take it round to tree. Opening. Then take that foot back. Reach forwards. Really using big toe. Using the arch underneath the foot. Using that glute. One more time. Lift your high knee. So if you've got that knee just below the hip, right? Flex the foot. Open. It's that tree pose. Squeezing these glutes. Then take that foot back. Try and keep that knee nice and stable. Reach forward. Pull in TBA. And recenter. Switch it so straight onto the other side. It's that lift. Engage the glutes, pull in the core. Check you're drawing up the arches underneath the feet. Then rotate it around, hip opening, take your tree pose. Whichever suits you, it might not be that high on the foot. Then we're going to draw that foot back and we're going to reach forwards. Even on that one, you should feel that glute squeezing as you reach back. We've got 2 more, so lift. Don't forget to breathe, okay? I know sometimes in balance, you kind of forget to breathe, right? Take it out for your tree. Squeeze those glutes and reach. Last time. Lift. Flex the foot. Try and get that knee nice and high. Rotate out for your tree. Then reach it forwards. I'm noticing some people when they reach, they get your palms facing down. Maybe try palms facing each other like you're holding a ball or something, right? See if that helps. Use the little finger there to get that balance. Okay, recenter. Isolation now, so we're going to go for calf raises. So pick a side. If you need to hold on to something to start with, straight, we're going to go straight up. So we're just going to go up towards the big toe and then lower the heel down. Squeeze that glute on your left and lower. I'm just going to grab a drink of water before I lose my voice. Going to go for 10 on each side. So just go over the foot, check using big toe, but the little toe is still engaging to there, and lower. Get the firing, so we're going from the mat to the glute, the pelvic floor, maybe even foot, pelvic floor, glute, brain. 3 more. If you can, not hanging on, then you've got that extra challenge with the balance. Then we're going to switch sides. Start by holding on if you need to. Just lift and lower. It's kind of scrunching up the toes a little bit with that. So you've got the calf muscle firing, the muscles in the feet firing, the glutes squeezing, the pelvic floor engaging. Just notice where you're looking here. You're looking down. If you're looking down, just try and still get a bit of a lift, because as soon as you lift, your rib cage lifts, your shoulders you'll go back too, right? Whereas if you're looking down, your shoulders are going to drop and you're more likely to kind of go down. So just think about the eye gaze slightly in there. 3 more. Then just take a nice wide kind of squat position, like sumo, sumo squat. I'm just going to draw a really big circle with both arms. And then we're just going to get a little bit wider and a little bit bigger on our circle. So you might just feel like some nice little stretches around kind of hips and groin area to start with. And then we're going to start bending the knees into it as well. So then we're going to get a little like hamstring, kind of inner thigh work in there. So if you can like brush these fingertips on the floor. Breathe in as you lift up, breathing out as you come down and around. And if you're happy, you're comfortable, you can really work into bending those knees, getting nice and low, all the way around. Really thinking as you're lifting and opening, kind of thinking about filling up the rib cage with air. Last one. Okay, let's meet down in downward dog then. So make your way down. Heel toe. Stretch out your calf muscles. Lift your hips up to the ceiling. Get your arms around your ears. Spiral your biceps towards each other. If you need to bend those knees, bend the knees. Really think about setting the hips up towards the ceiling and taking the chest towards the thighs. Challenges, if anybody wants a challenge here in your downward dog, is just take a 1-leg lift and turn the foot out to the side. So if you want a challenge, take a 1-leg lift, turn your foot out to the side, and you can simply switch that over. Puts in quite a long twist into the body too, right? Otherwise, just keep heel toe working on your dog. Try and keep your shoulders square if you're doing the leg lift. Again, it's a nice hip mobility move. 2 more. Otherwise, just working into your dog, lifting up your hips, getting all the blood to the brain. So from there, we're going to come onto all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. First of all, just find your neutral spine, yeah? So if you need to pelvic tilt. Then you've got pelvic floor in, TVA in. So we're going to go for a standard, so the right leg, the right arm, low handshake, and draw up the left leg. Then I'm going to switch this up, so we're going to bend in the left knee, sorry. Bend, so it's a little bit working the quads. straighten. And just now see if you can keep that left leg up level with the hip, bend. And straighten, you've got to concentrate on this. This is glute to hamstring connection. Try and keep in that neutral, so keep pulling in TVA, because your lower back might want to bend and arch in this. So really think about that neutral. Pelvic floor in, TVA in. And think about this arm that's reaching forwards. Try and keep it up level with the shoulder. 3 more, bend. And lengthen. Whew. Don't forget to breathe. 2 left, bend. And lengthen. Last one. Bend. Keep the control. And lengthen. And release. Switch it to the other side. So take that low handshake. Draw it up. Right leg lift. And straight away you've got to squeeze that right glute. Holding in that position and then just bend. And lengthen. We're doing 8 of these, right? So bend. If you're not on the same time with me, count yourself through. Lengthen 6 for me. Eye gaze going to the front of the mat. Concentrate on your neutral. Pelvic floor pulled in. TVA working really hard to stop that lower back arching. Lengthen. 4 left. Keep that concentration. Breathe out into the lengthen. And 3. It is hard, right? 2. We've got 1 left, just to bend. Breathe out, lengthen. And lowering that down. So just whilst we're on all fours, let's take a little twist. So just take the right arm, draw the hips forward slightly, and lift the right arm up towards the ceiling. Eye gaze going up as well. Reset, so press down and then go to your other side. Let the hips tilt forwards, otherwise it's quite hard to get into your twist. Recenter, other side. So just taking that chest stretch, it's a nice little up, but a little bit of upper body in there too. And switch, last one. Breathing out as you reach up. Okay, so from there we're going to come down onto our fronts, into our swan dive. So cactus your arms up off the mat. I'll adjust my camera to see a little bit more of me. Drawing the pelvic floor. Pull in the TVA. That's it. Okay, forehead down on the mat, like you're reading a really good book here. Breathing out, lift head and shoulders. Breathing in lower. Breathing out left. Just take a little check on how high you're getting here. Because then when we add in the arms, we want to see if you can get to that same height. And lower. Breathing out left. Keep the connection here with the core on the lifts. And lower. Adding in then, try and relax the feet. Lifting up the arms and lower. If we think about the crown of the head to the top of the head, think about shining that forwards. Rather than the face, think about that crown. So then we get that length all down the spine. This is when my nose is going to start running. And lower. 4 more then, let's add in. Breathe out left. Breathe in, then breathing out, reaching forwards. At that point, you can take the eye gaze forwards. Coming back and lower it down. 3 left, with 3 breaths in each one. So really taking your time to set up this posture move. Still pulling in that pelvic floor. One more. So if we get to that same height we did on the first one, and reach, back to cactus, and lowering it down. Just take a moment's rest, and we're going to bend one knee, so my right knee, Bend your heel up towards your bum. And we're just going to take hold of the front of the foot. If you want to lift up a little bit, you can. Otherwise, you can just stay down on the floor. If you lift, you get like a little stretch there on your rib cage. Just a little quad stretch. So take a moment here. Actively squeeze your quads. That's the front of your leg that you're stretching. And just actively kind of find it for 6 seconds. And then just see if you can say to it, okay, I'm going to relax you now. Let go of that muscle. And just see if you can ease it. And maybe when you ease it, you can get the foot nearer to your bum, right? And then you can do that a couple of times. So actively go, right? I'm going to say hello to my quad. Squeeze. And then I'm just going to let go of it. Relax it. Send the breath there, perhaps. You know, like some deep breathing. And maybe one more if you're doing this. So 6 seconds, squeeze. And then relax. We haven't stretched quads for a little while. Slowly release them and then we switch to the other side. So taking hold of that foot. Taking the chest lift if you want to take it. You don't need to. You can be down, right down here with the forehead on the mat. Actively engage that quad. We go for about 6 seconds. Really squeeze. And like mine are tight, so they feel uncomfortable when I squeeze. But then when I know that I say, okay, I'm going to relax, they start easing off. Really important just to not hold the breath here. So just keep breathing. And again, have another squeeze. Almost like you're pressing the front of the front of your leg, that quad, down into the mat. Imprinting into the mat again. Then just take a relax. Check you're not holding your breath. And then just one more squeeze. And relax. Slowly release out of that then, pressing yourself up onto all fours. And we're just going to take ourselves a cat stretch. So lifting up the tummy, get the space between the shoulders. Take your chin to the chest. And just send the breath here to that space between the shoulders. Just a couple of deep breaths. So coming down then, we're going to go to our plank position. So elbows underneath your shoulders. Start with the knees bent to begin with, pelvic floor in, TVA in, and then just lifting up those hips. So we're just hovering off our mats. Think about your spine again here, so the crown, and then your shoulders in line. We're not arching in the lower back. Shoulders down away from ears. If you want a little bit more, straightening one leg, straightening the other leg. And then if you kind of feel like movement in here, we're going to do 30 seconds. You could bend one knee, straighten. Bend one knee and straighten. And what you're really working on there is not letting the hips tilt side to side. So keeping those hips still. That lower back, not arching. I'm really thinking about pelvic floor TVA. Thinking about the crown of the head as well, and that length on the spine. So try not to lift the chin too high. Keep the chin kind of what we, like we're in our neutral position like we did at the beginning. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering it down. Take a 10 seconds rest. And then we'll have another go. Okay, ready then. Pelvic floor engage, TVA engage, lift up the hips. Adding in this time then, we'll put in the twist, so just dropping the hips over to one side and then recenter. Drop, recenter. You can do that with your legs straight, so it's a drop and it's a recenter. Again, keep the shoulders down away from the ears. My feet are all squeaky on the mat. And drop. Recenter. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 seconds rest, lower it down. And the last one we're going to do is that lift. So we've been working on that one now for the whole month. So from low plank, and we're going to push up, lift to high plank. So pelvic floor in, TVA in, lifting up the hips. You can do this with the knees down, or you can take that next progression legs straight. So it's pressing in and it's lifting to high plank. Stabilize yourself with that core and then lower it back down. And lift. And lower. Keep working with these. Lift. And lower. And lift. Are you always using that same hand to lift first? Let's switch it. 4 more. Lift. And lower. Keep working with that TVA, that pelvic floor. Lift. And lower. 2 left. Keep breathing. Lift. And lower. Last one. And lift. And lower. Brilliant. We're just going to go quickly. Hands off the mat. Go into the fingertips. And we're going to go for 8 fingertip press ups, and it's more of a chest stretch than anything because you don't have to take it all the way down. So stick the elbows out to the side like a cactus. Press yourself back up. You don't have to go so far down, right? So you can just do mini ones. Think about the shoulders down away from the ears. Think about drawing in the pelvic floor, the TVA. We don't want the lower back to arch. But it's like the juiciest chest stretch you'll ever have, right? And left. Don't forget to breathe. Breathing out as you come down. Breathing in as you rise. Last one. Sit back towards the heels, your version of child's pose. So whether that's all the way down or maybe hips lifted. Take a diamond shape, so just place your index fingers together, your thumbs together. Place your diamond on your mat. Bring your forehead down. 4, deep breaths now. Send the breath right towards that lower back. So we're looking for those big belly breaths here. Brilliant. So from there we're going to go onto our side. Oh, my fingertips feel amazing now. They all feel really awake. Okay, pick a side, bend the knees, and we're going to start with the clams. So try and lift your feet up so they're level or a little bit higher on the hips. So that front hip tips over. Lift the top knee and lower. And lift. And lower. Think pelvic floor, think TVAs, particularly TVA here. Let's go for a bit of a squeeze on the TVA. And lift. And lower. Maybe hand on the hips. Notice what's happening. Check the hips not rotating out. We did a good little warm up with the tree pose earlier. For hip opening work. 3 more. Should be feeling that glute med now around the side, the back of the bum. And 2. And last one. Gonna do that double leg lift, and we're gonna do it all in one again like we did it last week. But come to the front of your mat because I'm gonna put in a spin onto your back, right? So get yourselves right on the front side of your mat. So we're gonna roll onto our backs. So we did it last week. We'll do one where we can split. So lift, rib cage, arm up. Get that pelvic floor engaged and lower. Now let's do a couple of whole ones. So double leg lift, rib cage lift, and arm up, all in one move, right? And lower. 2 more. Everything, go for the big lift. Try and get the pelvic floor to engage at the same time. And lower. 1 more, everything, lift. And lower, and then we're going to roll onto our backs. We're going to take our chest towards our knees and rock up. We'll do a few of them, so you get to practice that. So holding now your half teasers, right? Lifting one arm, lifting the other arm. Try and keep this control in here. Both arms if it's there for you. Lift, lower. Then we're going to come all the way back down onto our side for four lifts again. So everything lift into the balance. Check that pelvic floor is really working for you. And lower. Everything lifts and lowers. This is our best side, I can tell. Everyone's so smooth. Lift. You feel like the length going through the body on this one. And lift, last one. Ready to spin. So roll onto your back, draw yourself up. Half teasers. Now if you want it, you've got the full teaser there for you. Straighten the legs, okay? You need the hamstrings on that one. Then you can work lift. One on lift. Double if you can. Lift. Woo. Lower it down, spin back onto your side. We've got 1 left. 4 double leg lifts. Everything lifted and lowered. Think about this rib cage in here, okay? That's all those obliques. Rectus abdominis as well. 2 more. Breathing out, lift. Breathing in, lower. Both legs lifted and lift. Get ready for your spin, so you sort of relax a bit, hollow in the middle, chest to knees, draw yourself up, nice. Full teaser if it's there for you. 1 arm left, whoa. Lower, other arm left, and lower, both arms. Really think about that pelvic floor, that TVA pulling in, and lower. Take it down, roll it back onto your side. And we're going to go to a side plank, so elbow underneath your shoulder. First layer is your bent knees. So just lifting up the hips. Shoulder, elbow underneath your shoulder. And try not to let the head drop there. So try and keep that head in line with the spine. Then we're going to leg lift. Okay. Next layer on top is your full side plank. We're going to go 30 seconds. And then elbow going up to the ceiling. Leg lift. And breathe. A full move, that is a pretty full on. 30 seconds. Tying everything together, putting strength on top, because we've got that glute med going, we've got that core, we've got that upper body strength. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering it down. That was a good challenge to finish. Switch sides then, and we'll go into the clam. So we'll start with engaging that glute med. Bending the knees. Push that top hip over. Lift that top knee and lower. And lift. And lower. Try and really keep there, so we're really isolating like we do on the calf raises. Try and isolate this glute med, so try not to opening out. I mean, this would be a completely different move. That's like this would be like a hip circle, right? So really just think, we're trying to just work with the glute med. So almost press down that hip, don't let it open. Think about your feet here as well, so a little bit of tension in there. Almost like the arches underneath your feet, there's like still a little bit of engagement, like you'd be standing in posture or squats and thinking about them. 4 more. Find that TVA, go for a squeeze. 3, and 2, and 1. Get to the front of the mat then. Gonna get ready for these double leg lifts. Let's go for one, just break it up. So top leg lift, bottom leg lift, rib cage lift, arm up and over. Let's get everything working. Lower it down. Try it all together then. Legs, ribs, and lift. And lower. 3 more. Breathe out, lift. And lower. Breathing out, lift. Really find that pelvic floor on this one. And lower. All that length all down the body, lift. Lower, ready to spin it onto your back. Take chest to knees, rock up. Let's play with this teaser a little bit again. Okay, so one arm left. And lower. Try and keep this control, keep pulling in. Pelvic floor TVA and lower. Both arms if it's there for you. Lift. And lower. Bring it down onto the side. Straight in. Lift. Get the rib cage in there too. And there's balance. And lower. 3 more. Lift. And lower. Really should feel now that the kind of the layers here, the pelvic floor to the TVA to the rectus abdominis. And lower. And lift. And I lost count. 1 more. Everything lift. Then we're going to spin. Lower. Rock back. Coming up. Hold those teasers. If it's there for you, go for those straight legs. Lifting one arm. And lower. And lift. And lower. Both arms if it's there. Try and keep those legs lifted. And lower. Take it down. Last time. 4 lifts. All together. Lift. And lower. Breathing out, lift. And lower. And lift. I think this is actually getting rid of my cold. I feel amazing. Lower, ready to spin onto your back. Rock it up. Chest to knees. Full teaser if it's there for you. Otherwise you want that half teaser. One arm lift. Lower. Other arm lift. Lower both arms. And lift. And lower. Bring it down. Take it on your side. Side plank. Elbow underneath your shoulder. Maybe you've got that knee down. And we're thinking here, length through the spine, so don't let your head drop. Keep your head in line with the spine. That full version was legs straight. Get that elbow bent, pointing up to the ceiling so to keep the chest stretch. Then it's leg lift. Ooh. Still pulling in pelvic floor TVA. Don't forget to breathe on these planks. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, keep breathing. 3, 2, 1, lowering it all down. And then we're going to go on our backs and we're going to do a bit more work on our abs. I'm going to switch it around. I'm going to go that side, I think. Get yourself comfy. Get the shoulders relaxed. Find your neutral spine. Maybe a pelvic tilt in there. Pull in pelvic floor. Pull in TVA. Get the length at the back of the neck. So if your chin's going up to the ceiling, just get a cushion or fold over the mat. Keep that length in there. Okay, so we're going to go for our 5 sets of 100. We've got to do it. I never have a week off that one, do I? Check your feet, your knees hip width apart. And just take your feet down towards the end of the mat. You'll find your right angles when we do that. So lift one leg up to tabletop. And lower. Switch sides, lift. And lower. Hands on hips here. Let's keep these hips still, lift. and lower, and lift, and lower. Lift head and shoulders, look to knees, pulsing the arms up and down. As we do this, as we're pulsing, try and keep your tummy still, because we're shaking the upper body and the tummy probably wants to wobble. So really think now, pelvic floor TVA, don't let the tummy wobble. And imprint that tummy down, that lower back down to the mat. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide the hands up to the knees so the rib cage is going in towards the hips. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep breathing. 3, 2, 1. And slowly release. If you want more, then you're going to take your tabletops up. Imprint the lower back down. 4 toe taps there, ready. 4 and 3. Keep those right ankles behind the knee. And 2. Shoulders relaxed, palms up. 1. Lift and pulse, tummies are still imprinting. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straightening the legs so you're reaching towards your knees. And hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Palms up, shoulders relaxed. Ready to go again. 4 toe taps. 4 and 3. Work with the pelvic floor and imprint. 2 and 1. Lift and pulse. Belly button down to the mat. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straightening those legs. Reach. Let's hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Palms up, shoulders relaxed. 4 toe taps. Here we go again. 4. 2 sets left. 3, 2, and 1. Nearly done. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten those legs. Let's reach. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Palms up, shoulders relaxed. Pelvic floor in. Last set. Ready. 4 toe taps. 4, 3. Keep these knees hip width. 2, 1. Lift and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5. Tummies are still. 4, 3, 2, 1. Straightening out those legs and reach. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep working. 3, 2, 1. And release. Full body stretch. Take the arms over the head. Scrunch the fists. Point the toes. Press the backs of the knees into the mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Down into the mat. Push the back of the head into the mat. Chin going towards the chest, scrunch at the face. Pull the tummies in. Squeeze the glutes. Take a big deep breath in. Breathing out, just cactus out the arms, turn the feet out and just relax for a couple of breaths. Bending the knees. Knees, feet hip width apart. Just slowly sliding one heel away and then bringing it back up. Hands on hips here, just slowly slide and then bringing that back up. Notice if your hips are tilting side to side. You sometimes want to micro tilt with that one. Shoulders are relaxed. Still got that length at the back of the neck, so that chin shouldn't be going up to the ceiling. If you want a little bit more, tabletop it. Imprint, so get that lower back down onto the mat. Then just slide, straightening one leg. Back to your tabletops. And slide. Adding in if you want then. We're going to go opposite arm to leg. So One leg lengthens, the opposite arm lengthens away over your head, then recenter it. Opposite arm lengthening and recenter. Keep working with the imprint. Try to keep everything hip width on that one. And obviously the arms at shoulder width. And extend. All thinking about getting some length in here. And extend. 4 more. Breathing out into those extensions. Like you can do exactly that with the heel slides still, right? If it's getting too much for the lower back, you can just go to your heel slides. Last one. Both arms up towards the ceiling, knees bent. Turn the thumbs to the inside, palms out. Lift the shoulders off the mat. Keep the back of the head on the mat. Switch it back around. Press the shoulders down. Relax the head. So these little shoulder presses. Really reach and lifting up. Get this really good release for the shoulders. Particularly good if you're ever driving a lot or typing a lot or just generally holding tension there in your shoulders. Just one more. Really breathe out, reach up. Breathe in, press those shoulders down. Adding in though, breathing out, take the arms over the head, little fingers touch over the head, keep the rib cage down. Circle those arms all the way down around to the knees, back to center. Think about the out breath here. So think if you can, extend that exhalation, maybe 8 seconds. Nice long out breath really helps to calm the nervous system. Try not to let the chest flare. If you want more, tabletop it. Imprint the lower back down as the arms go over the head. Double leg stretch, both legs lifted. Extend, and then bring it back round. Breathing out into those extensions. Keep thinking about your imprints. Two more, nice and slow on these exhalations. 8 seconds. Last one. Take the arms at like a T shape or a cactus if you haven't got the space. Breathing out, let both knees drop across to one side so you've got your lower back release. Look to the other direction. Maybe you feel the chest stretch. Breathe in, recenter, and then over to the other side. Such a good move, this one. Adding in if you want, then you just tabletop it. And you can even work with your tabletop just tilting over and you engage the core. Or if you want, extend out to the corners of the room. Then you get your hamstrings, the IT band as well. Breathe out into those stretches and those extensions. Breathe in at center. Think about that imprint, so that lower back going down towards the mat if you're working in tabletops. Then bringing the feet down. Let's take a hamstring stretch here. So one leg up towards the ceiling. See what you can hold on to. So maybe behind the thigh, or if you can get a bit further here. Push at the back of the knee. Maybe flex the foot. So we're getting a little bit more tension through the hamstring. Notice if the other knee's like turning out or your hips are trying to twist because we're trying to get into this crazy stretch. So just kind of take away that expectation that you're trying to get somewhere. Just be where you're at. Push away at the back of the knee. Just work with the engagement on the muscle. Try and keep the head, the shoulders relaxed. Taking some deep breaths. If you can, breathe in through the nose for 5 and breathe out through the nose for 5. I can't breathe in through my nose or out through my nose. Just a couple more breaths. Keep that leg going up to the ceiling, but let go of it. And we're going to take the one leg circle here. So you can bend at the knee if you choose, but it's thinking about opening with the hip. Draw a small circle, maybe the size of one of those inflatable beach balls though. So normally I go a bit smaller than that, so maybe go a little bit bigger here. What else is that size? Oh, like something more seasonal. Oh, I don't know, a pumpkin. Saw some pumpkins today in Morrison's. And they were massive, actually. Other way around. Think about the other knee. So the leg that's not doing any work here. Try and keep that knee nice and still, pointing up to the ceiling. Because that's going to want to circle and spiral too. One more if you haven't already. Switch it the other way around. Then placing that foot down, and then we're going to go to hamstring stretch on the other side. So again, just push away at the back of the knee, find what you can hold on to. Head and shoulders relax, maybe flex the foot just to find a little bit more work with the hamstring. Check the hips out tilting or lifting off the mat. And then really think about the engagement there, so pushing at the back of the knee. And you can do what we did in the quad stretch, where you work 6 seconds and then relax for 8 seconds. If that feels good for you. Taking those deep breaths, so breathing in through 5 and breathing out for 5. Couple more breaths. Then release, but keep that leg up, and then take that one leg circle. Try and think about the other knee being still. And like I find when I do that, I scrunch at the toes, I lift at the arch on the other foot, and the engagement really works on the other leg too. Take those circles, size of those massive pumpkins in Morrison's. Thinking about here, it's like it's called the hip circles. So think really about kind of almost like oiling the joints inside that hip. Nice and slow. Nice deep breaths, maybe 1 breath per circle, other way around. Two more. So now just bend the knees. Keep the knees, feet hip width, and just take the hands behind the head then. And we're just going to do a crisscross. So we're going to say the opposite elbow we're going to lift, and we're going to lift the opposite knee. But we're going to think about bringing the elbow across the midline, not the knee, and lower it back down. So it's kind of cross body. Bring the elbow across, and then lower. Maybe you don't touch the knee anyway, right? So that you don't have to. And lower. So this is kind of a bit more rectus abdominis. So this is like your 6-pack muscles. The ones that are all around the rib cage. And lower. So maybe you feel a little bit of a squeeze on the core as you're doing this. If you're happy and you want to move on another layer, we just tabletop it, imprint, and we take a 1-leg stretch, and then we come up and reach. Still nice and slow. If we doesn't turn into a HIIT class. Take a 1-leg stretch. Slowly draw the elbow up and lift. Breathe out as you lift. 4 more. 2 left. Check we're still pulling in pelvic floor. And lowering that down. Just hug the knees into the chest slightly, and we're just going to take a circle. So just take a gentle circle like the lower back's drawing a circle, imprint on the mat. And then the other way around. And we're going to work with this circle, so we're going to take the pendulum. So you can maybe let go of the knees and still work with circling. Okay. Now I'm going to add in some little options here. So maybe you want to take the legs straight with these pendulums. That's going to get a lot harder on your abs, and you're going to have to really think about your TVA and your imprint, right? Another option is to lift up onto your elbows. And you can either do that with your knees bent. It's quite a nice option. Or you can do your legs straight. Last option, you go legs, your arms straight, back behind you, so it's a very tricep kind of option. And then you go legs straight, and then you circle. And you actually can do that with your knees bent too, right? Two more, whichever one you're on. And we haven't done that for a while. I can see everyone now. Take a check on the time. Okay, let's have a stretch on the hip flexors. So lower yourself down. Walk your heels in close to your bum. Knees, feet, hip width apart. Take a pelvic tilt. Super slow, like you're rolling the marble up towards your neck and then down to your feet, right? But really slow. Massage that lower back down into the mat. Imprint vertebrae by vertebrae. Put in pelvic floor and then draw it up. And maybe, I don't know, like if you've tightened your hip flexors, you will feel them just doing a pelvic tilt. Ready for a little bit more then. So breathing out, you're going to start lifting up the hips. Take the arms up over the head. Circle them back round. So opening the chest. Interlink the fingers underneath your body. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And we're just going to take 4 breaths up here. Chin going towards chest, so we've got this length at the back of the neck. Work as high as you can, lifting up these hips. And then maybe you feel those hip flexors, those quads get a stretch. Send the breath into that rib cage, filling it out. Squeeze those shoulders together. 2 more breaths. Release the arms, slowly lower the hips down towards the floor. Hug the knees into the chest. Little rock, or again another circle if you need it. Rock yourself up to seated position. Straighten out the legs, flex up the feet. Reaching up, then breathing in, breathing out, reaching forward. Circle the hands forward so if we can touch anywhere near the toes. If you need to bend the knees, bend the knees. Then reaching up, lift the rib cage. Then place the hands down, lift up the hips. And we're going to combine all that together. So we go up, we're lifting up the rib cage, breathing out, we're circling around. We're going to go for the hamstring stretch. Then we're going to lift. Get the ribcage lifted, then triceps, lift up the hips, lower, 2 more, lift, and as you're lifting, you're thinking crown of the head going up, you're thinking length in the spine, reach, again working a lift, pressing in, lifting up the hips, pause, nice juicy on the backs of the arms, last one, lift, circle, knees can be bent on that, and lift, press down, hips lift, nice, and lowering down, crossing the legs in, facing this way, or if you prefer legs straight, maybe sitting on a cushion. Going to take the spine twist, so index fingers together, thumbs together, underneath the chin into the sternum. Breathe in, get as tall as you can, crown of the head going up. Really breathe in, fill out the chest, breathing out. Take a small twist across to one of the knees. Really center, breathe in. And breathing out over to the other side. 2 more. Breathing, get tall. Breathing out, twist. Last one. Using that twist then, straighten the legs, arms out to the side. It looks like I'm gonna, looking at the screen, it looks like I'm gonna give you a big hug. I would if I'm there, that's what I'd be doing right now. Breathe in, get tall, breathing out, twist. Breathing, get tall, and then breathing out 1, 2, and 3 little reaches to that foot. Other side, breathing, get tall, breathing out, twist. Breathing, get tall, breathing out, 2 and 3, and then arm twist, 2 more. I haven't done this one for a while, we've been doing it standing up a few times. And last one. 2 and 3. Okay, cross the legs, we're going to finish 10 yogic breaths, so one hand on the tummy, one hand on the chest. Filling out the tummy with all the air. Release. So those big belly breaths. Bye Joe, thank you. Really work expanding the tummy. Let's add in then, so fill out the tummy, fill out the rib cage. And exhale. 2 more like that. Fill out the tummy. Filling out the rib cage. Adding in a little bit more, but we're going to go really high with this breath. So fill out the tummy, fill out the rib cage, fill out the top of the chest. Almost like the, you know, like the broadening collarbones. Exhale. Or maybe you feel like you're getting taller with this. 2 more. 3 parts, tummy, rib cage, top of the chest. Exhale. Tummy, rib cage, and chest. And exhale. And then just going back into your normal breathing.